A few minutes ago, I was changing out a thermostat for our air conditioning and heat system, and I looked at the instructions from Honeywell, and they were quite explicit. They told you to tag the wires as they came off the terminals of your old thermostat, and then to connect those same wires to the new thermostat. There was a problem, however, in the fact that the instructions showed a terminal marked C, as in Charlie. And the old thermostat didn't have a terminal marked C like Charlie. And yet the wiring diagram showed a wire going to C Charlie. And so I connected all of the wires as they had been in the old thermostat, with the red going to R and the brown going to RC and the yellow going to Y and the white going to white, or to W, and it didn't seem to work. So I immediately called Honeywell and asked for help, and of course I was 15th in line for help, and waited and waited and waited, and finally the technician said, you've not got a good connection somewhere. Take the red wire and the white wire and touch them together and see if the fan runs. And lo and behold, when I touched the red and the white wire, the fan ran. He said, you've just got a bad connection someplace. And I said, well, there's a C terminal they don't have anything connected to. And he said, no, if there was no C terminal on your old thermostat, you don't need anything connected to the C on the thermostat that you're working with. Well, it's a long way around to explain that we're now in the book of Galatians, working backwards from Revelation to Genesis. And Galatians is divided up into three parts. Chapters 1 and 2 is grace defined. Let's try again. Chapter 1 and 2 are grace defended. Chapters 3 and 4 is grace explained. And chapters 5 and 6 are grace applied. So grace defined or defended in chapters 1 and 2, Paul starts out by saying to the Galatians, I don't understand. I'm surprised how quickly you followed a different gospel. So what does that got to do with thermostats? Well, I had a different thermostat, and I was trying to wire up C when, in fact, C didn't need to be wired up. I was following a different gospel than what Honeywell had printed on the paper. And I'm sure the technician was probably profoundly dismayed at the fact that I was not following explicitly their instructions, and I had hooked up all of the wires they said to hook up. I just hadn't gotten a good connection on one of them. How quickly we can wander from the gospel. Paul, as he defends the gospel, is very, very clear. His authority as an apostle, where he got his teaching from. It came from Jesus, not any other source. And yet, people come along and they try to give us a different gospel. And we don't go back to the source, the trusted source for hundreds and hundreds of years, the Bible, and test this gospel that they're trying to teach us against the gospel to see if it plays, to see if it works. And you'll find that the gospel of works is not the gospel of the Bible. The gospel of works is Old Testament thought that you could get to heaven by works, but it only proved to us that you can't possibly do enough works to get to heaven. So Paul is surprised how quickly the Galatians have moved away from the gospel of grace to a gospel of works. And here's what he says in chapter 1, verses 11 and 12. For I would have you know, brethren, that the gospel which was preached by me is not according to man. For I neither received it from man, nor was taught it, but received it through a revelation of Jesus Christ. And you can't get a more direct source than that. We have the scriptures, which were God-breathed, inspired by God, directed by God, proven over all of these years. And we need to be careful that we don't move away from the gospel, the scriptures, and the grace of Jesus Christ. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas.